Welcome to Tarmac. I'm Dave. I'm Matthew, and today we've got a bit of a surprise for you because behind us is the new Aston Martin DBS Superleggera.
That's right, the top of the cream of the crop, the top of the line, the Aston Martin's Grand Tourer. Let's take a look at this one. So Superleggera or Superlight traces its roots all the way back to Italy, of course, and back to a coach builder in the 1930s. Aston Martin picked it up with their DB4 in 1959, and that nameplate and also the DBS nameplate has moved on since then. This is the latest iteration and it's a beauty. Come, let's take a closer look. So the successor to the Vanquish S and the natural competitor to the 812 Superfast, the DBS Superleggera offers Aston Martin's ferocity into a GT or Grand Tourer. Up front, the trademark Aston Martin grille, I mean, it's synonymous, it's been there through the ages. It's really unmistakable. Very low carbon fibre splitter. Plenty of side air vents here that go straight into the intercoolers. LED headlights, of course. This comes with this very shiny, almost disco ball style metallic paint. The camshell bonnet itself is carbon fibre, as is some of the roof panels and also the rear. There's a lot of lightness put into here. Also, the aluminium bonded chassis is again lighter. Overall, it weighs in at just over 1800 kilograms, which is not bad for an Aston Martin that is loaded with leather, but we'll show you that in a minute. Round the side, 21-inch, look at the size of these feet, they're massive, and how wide, but they're actually a little bit skinnier on the front than they are at the rear, which I'll show you in a minute. Lubris slides down here, offering plenty of airflow, extended sills, carbon fibre all over the place. This is just the gift that just keeps on giving. Recessed door handles, which we'll show you again once we get inside. DBS badging. Look at this lovely muscular rear end. Look at that. So muscular and so athletic. Ready to pounce. And like I said, a little bit winder P0s on the back here. So plenty of rubber putting down to make sure that you stick to the road. And you're going to want to try to stick to the road. Right here, Aston Martin's patented Aeroblade brings the airflow around here and subtly brings it over the rear spoiler here. Round the rear, huge amount of carbon, again, all the way around here, rear diffusers, quad pipes that all work, and a boot. Actually, it's a rather sizable boot for a GT. Let's look under the bonnet. Under this clamshell bonnet is a 5.2 litre twin turboed beast of an engine. 715 horses are under here, 900 newton meters of torque. 900. It's the most Aston Martin have put into a road car. 0 to 100, 3.4 seconds. Top speed, 211 miles an hour. It's all strapped to an 8-speed ZF gearbox and a carbon fibre prop shaft. It's ferocious for a Grand Tourer, but it's also luxurious, certainly on the inside. Let's get Matthew to show you around there.
So while Dave just showed you around the outside and it's all ferocious and it's all angry and very Italian inspired, you could say, the inside's a bit of a different story. Inside here it's proper old school Aston Martin. I mean, everything in here is covered in leather, and you know me, usually I'll go around picking for hard plastics or something, but there isn't even any plastic in here of any kind. I mean, this entire dashboard, the top of it is all covered in leather. Down the side here, it's all leather. Bottom here, the seats are head to toe covered in leather, and it's got this lovely sort of stitched hexagonal pattern on it, including the stitched Aston Martin logo, or it's embroidered, shall I say. That pattern theme continues to the middle again, where the stitching is of the same pattern and has the same contrast stitching as well, the gold as it's specified in this car. With modern Aston Martins you do get a bit of Mercedes inspiration, so that's over here, that's the infotainment system, which works great, it's easy to use, and the screen's right here. It's sort of placed on top, but it's covered in leather and it's integrated into this dashboard in a really nice sort of way. The steering wheel is sort of odd shaped, but it's a unique Aston Martin quirk, and it's something you know, and the enthusiasts of the brand love it. And of course it's wrapped in some super soft leather. Speaking of more leather, look up at the roof. It is completely covered in leather, and it feels just so soft to touch. It's incredible. Again, the pattern extends onto the roof, as you just saw. It just adds to the touch of class in this car. That beautiful pattern on the sides, in the middle, the contrast stitching, it's all just excellent. It is a Grand Tourer, so there's 2 seats in the back. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna go and try and jump in the back there, because I don't think a person with legs can fit in the back. You could most probably get a small child in there, but anything apart from that is a bit opportunistic. Again, the pattern and the leather and all that stuff is just beautiful in the back, but sorry to say, it's mostly for admiring rather than sitting in. But anyway, this is an excellent Grand Tourer, but it's one with a bit of a twist, because Aston Martin have made it their most powerful production car ever. So join us as we go and take this for a proper drive and find out what difference that tuned engine makes.
Okay, so you have to forgive me for being a little bit gushy. You know, it's an Aston Martin, it comes with all the British heritage, regardless of how it's gone through its life. It's still an Aston Martin, it's still a British supercar, and that's really where it's at.
It says made in England, just like this man here.
Designed and conceived, there you go. Look, this is a Grand Tourer. It's a big Grand Tourer, but it's a fast Grand Tourer. This V12 is ferocious, not necessarily in GT mode. Right now it's placid, it's, you know, there's plenty of room on the accelerator to push down and you won't be thrown back in your seat. Move it up into sport, it starts to get a little bit more exciting. The revs increase, the dampers take a little bit more of a harder ride, and then you can go into Sport Plus, where it's all guns are blazing. It's nasty and it's riotous. But back to mild mannered.
I mean, that's really the temperament of this car, if you like to say, because inherently it is a Grand Tourer. It is a DB11 somewhere underneath here, but a DB11 with everything sort of changed and made more dramatic. I mean, the exterior is just so sharp and so, it draws the eye, it draws anyone's eye. And then the engine is tuned, it's the same engine as the DB11, but it's tuned to be so much more aggressive in this car. But it's just amazing how at the same time, when it's in GT mode, as Dave just showed you, the suspension is soft, the engine is as quiet as it can be. It's just, it's crazy.
As quiet as a V12 can be.
Yeah.
It's lavish. There's leather everywhere, as Matthew showed you. It feels like a Chesterfield, but it has the, I don't know, the personality of a racehorse, a pedigree racehorse for that. It's an Aston Martin through and through.
Then there's not only all this leather here, but there's a bit of wood trim on the side as well, and it's all done dramatically. All the patterns, everything, it is an Aston Martin. It's just pure Aston Martin.
There's a beastie stereo in here, Bang & Olufsen, and it's very loud and it's very bassy and well worth having a listen to. But I think it gets beaten any day of the week by the sound of this V12, especially when it's going full noise.
I've got to agree with Dave on that. As soon as you put it into sports mode, flies off. It's crazy how it changes so fast.
Luckily enough, it's got the carbon fibre brakes, and they are there to stop you at any moment in time. A little bit snatchy for my liking right now, but they're also, it's a great confidence builder to know that they're right there to pull you up at any stage. I mean, it'll pull your face off. It's great.
Those brakes have got some serious stopping power on them.
Steering wise, very positive. Down low when you're doing a small turning circle, well, actually a very large turning circle as it is in this case, up to about 30 km/h. It's all power assisted and nice and easy to navigate around. As you start to get a little bit faster, it starts to give a little bit more weight to the steering wheel and let you, I don't know, take control, take the bridge, as they say. Reversing camera, 360 degree plus 180s, so plenty of ways to make sure that you don't bump into anything in the shopping malls. The 8-speed gearbox is really quick to change, especially when you start moving into Sport and Sport Plus, and also you have these big massive metal paddles, alloy paddles to play with should you want to step down and just hold those revs and let that engine talk and sing and make lots of noise. Ah, beautiful. So there you have it, the Aston Martin DBS Superleggera. It's just lightweight, grand touring, pinnacle driving. It just ticks all those boxes.
The DBS has always stood for the pinnacle of what an Aston Martin can be, and adding Superleggera to it, making it lighter, making it faster, that was always going to be a recipe for success.
Mr. and Mrs. Brown would be very, very pleased.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.
Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
See you.